Have you ever tried to light a piece of paper on fire? It burns almost instantly, right? The flames quickly consume the paper, leaving behind nothing but ashes. It's fascinating how something so thin and fragile can be so flammable. But what if I told you that this same paper could be used to hold boiling water? Yes, you heard that right. You can actually boil water in a paper cup. It sounds impossible, doesn't it? After all, paper burns so easily. But when you add water to the equation, things get really interesting. The water absorbs the heat, preventing the paper from reaching its ignition point. It sounds crazy, doesn't it? The idea that something as delicate as paper can withstand the heat needed to boil water is mind-blowing. We all know that paper burns easily, but when it's filled with water, the story changes completely. How can something so delicate hold boiling water? The secret lies in the science of heat transfer. The answer lies in some really cool science. The water inside the cup absorbs the heat, keeping the paper from burning. Get ready to be amazed. This simple experiment demonstrates the fascinating principles of heat transfer and ignition points. Let's do an experiment to see this amazing phenomenon in action. Watch closely as we bring water to a boil in a paper cup, defying what we thought we knew about paper and fire. For this experiment, you'll need just a few things: a paper cup, some water, a heat source, like a stovetop burner, and a parent's supervision. Safety is always important when we're dealing with heat. Make sure to wear safety goggles and have an adult present to guide you through the process. First, carefully fill your paper cup with water. Don't fill it all the way to the top though, leave a little bit of space. This will help prevent any spills and make the experiment safer. Now, with your parents' help, place the cup of water on the burner. Make sure the heat is set to medium or high. Now watch carefully. What do you think will happen? Will the paper cup catch fire immediately, or will something else occur? Observe closely as the paper cup starts to heat up. Notice how the paper cup doesn't burn right away. Instead, you'll see steam rising from the water. This is because the water absorbs the heat, preventing the paper from reaching its burning point. Isn't that fascinating? As the burner heats the cup, something amazing happens. The paper cup, which you might expect to catch fire, remains intact. This is due to a fascinating scientific principle. The heat energy from the burner is transferred to the cup, and you might think the paper would burn immediately, but there's more to the story. The heat is then transferred to the water inside the cup. This process is known as heat transfer, a fundamental concept in physics. The water absorbs most of the heat energy, preventing the paper from reaching its burning point. This absorption of heat by the water is crucial. You see, water has a much higher boiling point than paper has a burning point. This difference in temperatures is key to understanding why the paper doesn't burn. Water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit or 100 degrees Celsius. This is the temperature at which water turns into steam. In contrast, paper burns at around 450 degrees Fahrenheit or 232 degrees Celsius. This is much higher than the boiling point of water. As long as there's water in the cup, the paper won't get hot enough to burn. The water keeps the temperature of the paper below its burning point. Isn't that incredible? The water actually protects the paper from the heat. This simple experiment beautifully demonstrates the protective power of water. So, there you have it. Boiling water in a paper cup isn't magic, it's science. We've seen how heat transfer, boiling points, and the amazing properties of water all work together to make this possible. Now I have a question for you. What other everyday things might seem impossible but can be explained by science? Keep asking questions and experimenting. You never know what amazing discoveries you might make.